Do you want to do a podcast? We make a darn good team. It always goes without a hitch. Let's head to Twitch and go start up the stream. Do you want to do a podcast? It's the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Let's start now. Hi everyone and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Come?
Alright, I'll do my own bits myself.
Oh wait, no silence.
We're doing it. Get off the road.
So Dave,
Yes, Boater.
what kind of starfighter does a Canadian rebel fly?
I'll have to try to ask Sustaina, but I'm gonna guess something about or a sorry fighter.
An A-wing. Yep. Yay! I mean, you kind of cut it off but didn't quite get there, but anyway. Hi, everybody. I'm Boater, and I'm a Star Wars nerd.
And I'm Dave Man, and I'm moderately aware of Star Wars and a bigger Trekkie fan.
And welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast. I don't know, that was probably the most wind that's been taken out of my joke sale the entire time we've been doing this, which has been almost a year.
Well, I feel bad that I guessed the punchline
No, it's okay.
and moved over.
Yeah, well, if you guessed like the punchline with the thing, it would have been like, yeah, you got A-wing, it's a thing. But it's like, oh, you got the jokey part, but not the nerdy part.
Yeah, not gonna lie, my knowledge
a memoir
of the wings are, the X-wing, iconic,
Yep,
in everything.
Yeah.
The Y-wing, just because I love those things.
X-wing, Y-wing are the big two because of A New Hope. Like people, I mean, obviously X-wing first, then Y-wing.
Yeah.
It was also in Clone Wars.
Yes.
And then like people forget that the A-wing and B-wing are things, especially because they're not super shaped like whatever. And then the U-wing, they never actually they never really give it its name. It came out in Rogue One, and I've warmed up to it really well. But speaking of warming up to, Dave, I know we're already talking Star Wars, but can I talk Star Wars just a little more?
Of course.
Star Wars Squadrons came out on Friday, and I was convinced it was going to be a good game. Dave was very, very skeptical. Dave?
So, I am very, very pleased to announce that for the millionth time in my life, I was skeptical about something and was wrong. And I'm so happy that EA didn't wipe and then send it out.
Yeah. No, they didn't EA all over the thing. It is better to have a low bar of expectations, especially considering the way Star Wars has been recently. So set that low bar and then be pleasantly surprised and enjoy it. No, I love Squadrons. I got it. I started playing it Friday night as soon as I got home. I was doing just the story missions, probably like 1 or 2 in the morning. I went to bed, got back up, hopped back on, finished about mid-afternoon, and then went to multiplayer. So I really, and then since then, doing a lot of dogfight, playing the Fleet Battles missions. It's been really fun. This is actually, I was streaming last night doing ranked placement matches on Squadrons. And Fleet Battles is a really interesting kind of setup for that. But yeah, there's a lot for me to talk about, and I won't take up too much time because I know we got a lot to go to. I see 7:04 on my thing. Can I, I'll take like a couple minutes.
Again, for in regards to the fact that it's a Star Wars IP, which I love.
Yep.
And it's a game that is genuinely fun to play, and you have a very different, perspective on it than I do, coming from a different and differently informed angle like Star Wars. So please.
Yeah. Demon Dragon notes, getting angry at your controller. I didn't get angry at the controller, but I definitely took it out on it when I got killed by cheap shots, like in the story mission, like I don't know, for the 7th time, and it just kind of went smack to my joystick.
Oh no!
And so that probably wasn't what damaged it, but later that night I started having issues with my rudder that fortunately I was able to fix, but like I have a throttle and stick setup
Yeah.
for my game. It's off camera up here, but you can kind of see like my hands are like this. And it's really cool. It's a stick that I've been using for the past 5 or 6 years. And it started to crap out on me. Fortunately, I was able to figure it out like literally 2:30 in the morning. Oh, if I do this, that might work better. Go downstairs, fix it, play a dogfight game to be sure, and then go back to bed at 3 o'clock.
Oh, well, like rigor mortis, you came in right at the right time, and my joystick was the topic of conversation, but...
So fix that, but like in the meantime of the despair of, oh crap, I might need to get a new joystick, it turns out that between supply issues with 2020 and manufacturing and everything like that, and it being a very niche product, so it hasn't been prioritized, and the release of Star Wars Squadrons, and even bigger, the release of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, you cannot find a throttle and stick setup to save your life. The ones I was finding were 4 times regular retail price. My stick is $70. I was seeing it listed online for $250.
Wow.
I'm only hearing the serious joystick conversation as a series of penis jokes. That's okay. But that's
As I said in chat, it is what you want it to be.
that's
okay.
That is me done talking about my joystick and throttle, which is a 2-handed operation.
Well, now I want to talk about your joystick and throttle because I played with my controller at home, and I had fun playing with myself.
Yeah, a lot of people are playing on game
things.
pads and doing well. Whether it's... So what is it? It's your right stick is your pitch up and down, and then your yaw left and right?
So... now muscle memorying from Friday.
Yeah.
The yaw is the left stick and the pitch is the right stick.
Okay.
And the first minute of the stream, I'm literally going, wee, because I'm like trying to figure out which is which in relation
I definitely,
to...
as soon as I started, I was like, oh no, it wants me to do the stick left and right for yaw rather than roll. And I immediately went and I swapped that around so I'd be more comfortable with it. And yeah, like... especially the nice thing on PC is being able to easily customize everything. But another really nice thing is that whether you're playing on PC, if you got it on Steam or Origin or whatever, you can play with people that got it on Xbox, got it on PlayStation. It's amazing crossplay potential.
Now just need to make a dedicated party system, but that's easily added.
Well, you can make a party system. I was playing with high school friends, and by that I mean someone that I've been friends with with Facebook for the past year or so, but that I hadn't talked to in person for 15 years.
Nice.
And he was like, hey, Boater, or actually he referred to me by my old last name because that's what I was called in high school. Hey, Hookway. Join me and so on, and these other people. And it was really cool hearing voices I hadn't heard forever. And
that's awesome.
We're playing Squadrons. It was really cool. I've gotten a new appreciation for the A-Wing Interceptor while playing because I was always like, it's fine. It's no X-Wing. It's, whatever. And now I'm like, it's my favorite. I literally just ordered like a little die-cast A-Wing model to put maybe in the set here.
Can you hand me a marker from the drawer behind you?
Yes, I can.
Because I have some questions about that.
Okay.
And I need to take notes.
Okay.
So the X-Wing as we know, flies around and it's a big old X and it goes choo 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 choo.
Yep. Pew pew from the 4 wings.
The Y-Wing flies around and it goes.
Yeah, it's a bomber.
What's the A-Wing's function?
The A-Wing is an interceptor. It is fast. It is agile. So it is an anti-fighter thing. The X-Wing is kind of an all-around, you can use it against fighters, you can use it against capital ships, but it's not as good at either one as the A-Wing or the Y-Wing, respectively.
Okay.
It's a good jack of all trades.
So it's stupid. Like, okay, I get it. So it doesn't do anything in particular well.
I honestly, it's as iconic as the X-Wing is in gameplay, so it has more firepower than an A-Wing, it can hit harder, but I'm like, I prefer to not get hit. Thank you very much.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I am vividly curious about trying to fly all these other things.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling...
And that's a great thing about the story, is that it forces you to fly each of them in turn and to try different things with your loadout. Yes, it's kind of a glorified tutorial for the multiplayer, but I enjoyed the story itself. It switches perspectives back and forth. I finished in about 9 or 10 hours. It switches perspective between the New Republic and the Empire. It's just after the Battle of Endor, so they're officially the New Republic rather than the Rebel Alliance. And I felt that either of those storylines could have been an 8-hour campaign, they seemed a little rushed it a couple times, and they would do the thing where like, all right, cool, the two storylines are getting closer together, and then like, oh, Vanguard Squadron, you go off and do something else, so that Titan Squadron could come in and, you know, not shoot down your other character. So, and it started to get a little contrived, and it's like, as much as I appreciated it doing two things, I would have preferred, like, focus and doing one or the other.
You know what? It's not stupid.
It's not. It's not.
It's not stupid.
I give the story an 8 out of 10 because of a few contrived things. I give the story 8 out of 10. You get to know.
Excuse me. That particular story element, telling element, lazy.
You know, you get to know your squad mates, which is kind of fun. Like, just between missions, you go up and talk to them. Except that they just kind of talk at you with kind of stiff,
yeah, that's the thing I noticed.
Kind of stiff animation. They all have interesting backstories. If I had to talk to one of the Imperials one more time, I was going to pick her up by the neck and wing her across the hangar.
I noticed the Imperials all European, by the way.
Yeah,
not
so,
much personality between all 10 of them.
Yeah, I mean the trope is that if you talk in a British accent, you're Imperial. And in fact, there was a character in the Rebel Squadron who spoke with a British accent and said, "Yes, I come from an Imperial family." It's kind of like her backstory thing. One of the characters, and I really liked this. One of the characters on the Rebel side is non-binary. I was thinking of them as she at first, and then I'm like, no, there's some androgyny there. And I looked it up, and I hadn't noticed in game, but they're only referred to with they, them pronouns. And I looked up the voice actor because it seemed a little familiar. And it's Bex Taylor Klaus, who voiced Pidge in Voltron.
Okay.
Which I didn't even, like, I recognized them from having been an actor in the first couple seasons of Arrow.
Yeah.
As well as, like, a bit part in the first scene of The Last Witch Hunter with Vin Diesel. That's where I recognize them from. But they actually, in the past couple years, came out as non-binary themselves. Which so it was like really cool representation of a non-binary character voiced by someone who's non-binary.
That's the pod racer character, right?
Yes, the one who used to be a pod racer that has slight connection to the Force. They were my favorite, you know, character that you get that talks at you sometimes.
They did that Force connection, by the way, really early, and they started doing that, which I didn't mind.
Yeah,
because I'm like, you know what? This is around the time where there has been a war going on up to this point, so it's not like suddenly someone's gonna be like, oh wow, all these powers that you've been fighting for your life for the past like month.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, and so, crap. It's an interesting nod to the X-Wing novels where there's a character that is somewhat Force sensitive, but they have no control over it. They just hear it now and then, much like that character did.
Like a Spidey sense.
And then there's a character on the Imperial side that later on very casually makes mention of his husband. Like, oh yeah, my husband doesn't want to retire where there's just all the Durasteel walls. We'd like to go somewhere nice when this is all done. So again, just like these things that are easily missed, if you just go straight for the story, you're going to miss them. But it is definitely a couple steps above just queer baiting and being like, oh, maybe. It's like, no, it's definitely there.
Very proud of our respective Star Wars and Star Trek families that they didn't do the my husband
monocle.
Yeah. Like, and then just like stare at the camera and wait for applause, and it's like, no, like where I appreciate that you're going in that direction, you just written something. You have to actually flesh out a character for me to give a rat's ass about them.
And then I know we got news to get to, but again, I'll mention multiplayer. The dogfight is cool, where it's 5-on-5, New Republic versus Empire.
Okay.
Again, there's 4 ships on each side. They're somewhat evenly matched, but have slight differences. And then there's fleet battle, which is what's going on over here, where I had a couple people on the opposite team drop overnight and drop the mission, so we had a really easy success. The other two didn't go quite so well, so keep an eye up there for that. But basically, there's a big capital ship and 2 smaller capital ships. Yeah, victory poses. And you need to destroy in turn first the 2 small capital ships and then push to the big one, but with a morale system so that it's a back and forth kind of flow. So that's really fun, and if you have a team that works well together, you do well. If you have a team that's kind of garbage, then you lose, like the other 2 matches I had last night.
I mean, That is the way.
It's a team game. It's
when you were
know,
playing that, I literally heard my Friday crew and I playing Overwatch going, "Oh, great!
Yeah.
Thanks for playing Reaper." Like, where are you going?
Yeah, it's got that kind of energy, kind of Overwatchy, kind of Team Fortress-y.
It's clear that this game did the thing you should do. Hey, what works for you over there? Great, we'll do that. Because it's not like they didn't say revolutionary gimmicks. They just said online multiplayer, like cross-compatible, like...
Yeah, and we'll see, like, I can see some in-the-moment tactics thing, but I can't think of, like, any big meta evolving, whereas, like, you know, League of Legends has a very strict, you have this type of character at the top lane, this type at the mid lane, these two at bot lane, and then a jungler going around.
Speaking of League of Legends and strict competitive online, Team and Dragon, welcome to competitive gaming.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. I'm excited to play some more. I think I have like 3 more matches to go before I get like before I'm placed in some sort of rank. And again, I want that to be my game, so I plan on streaming more of that. This was streamed last night, twitch.tv/Boaterbug. Follow there if you want to see more, because I will be streaming a few nights a week. I need to make sure that I stay on top of my YouTube uploads as well. But there will be something coming out Thursday and Friday, as long as I get a couple things edited tomorrow, and then I'll be back on the game. So unless Dave plays Among Us, in which case I'll have to do that instead.
I mean, make your voice heard in chat. I could be dissuaded to do an entire month of Among Us. It'll fit along with the idea of it's October, play something spooky.
I said today I like the idea of like spooky stuff for October, but like I was at work and I was caught unawares of decoration that's a little unsettling. I'm gonna play it low key. The only Halloween decoration I'm gonna get is a Happy New Year 2020 banner on the front of my house.
Hell yeah! What's going on, Akai? Welcome, my friend. So glad that you are up, out, and streaming. Welcome back, brother. Welcome to the Nerd Glasses. We're just about to start talking
news and stuff.
Gaming news and things like that. We have talked.
We've talked about Star Wars Squadrons for almost 20 minutes. The last thing I'm going to say,
good. No, yeah, please.
Yeah, isn't about the game itself. Like, if you want to know more about the game, follow me, Boaterbug on Twitch. Ask me more questions. I'm happy to talk at length. But I had Star Wars Alphabet Squadron, the novel, here last week. I finished that over the weekend and started its sequel, Shadowfall. If anyone is wondering, if anyone has read the X-Wing books that came out for Legends, that were the old expanded universe, they were some of the best stuff that was written. Alphabet Squadron doesn't reach the same highs, but on average kind of meets kind of the average of X-Wing. I enjoyed it. It's got some really cool parts, and it's Fighter Squadron stuff. So I'm about a quarter of the way through the second book right now.
I'm happy to hear that, because there's a lot.
I've heard these are the first books, like expanded universe, new canon, Disney canon stuff that I've read, and from what I've heard a lot is that these and Thrawn are the only ones that are like unabashedly like good stuff. Aftermath, I think I heard was good as well.
I think I own Aftermath, and I started it, and I just got so
Aftermath is a trilogy,
streaming, and
which is one thing I heard is that like most of them have to be like standalones. Aftermath got to be a trilogy and evolve its storylines. Whereas in Alphabet Squadron, there are characters that have secrets, and it doesn't feel like it needs to wrap them all up and divulge them all in the first book. There's going to be a third book coming out in March or April, so it's taking its time with it. Okay, Dave. Thank you for letting me talk about Star Wars for 20 minutes.
I'm glad to, and I hope that next week we get to talk about how your competitive ranking is going and that growing and learning. One of these games, by the way, someone on this game is an absurd sweaty. What was that level? Like,
I don't remember.
It was like 40 something.
Yeah. No, the last game. The game had been out for 3 days. Someone was level 47. And I was level 13.
But like even the early access guy you were playing with in the last game was like level 20.
Yeah, he was like I've been playing it since, a week of early access, and I'm level 27. This guy's 47. Like, what the hell? This one guy was why we didn't end up winning the last game. Oh god.
Very nice phase. Very glad to hear that, and welcome on. Demon Dragon calling for weekly Boater ranked updates. Done! If one of the new segments.
If the network has to hear about your guys' fantasy football, it gets to hear about Squadron's ranking.
I mean, why not talk about competitive gaming? Especially because I will indefinitely incentivize some of the Garnted Cult who do it, and we'll do like who has the highest ranking. I will be last, and I'm okay with that. But I will absolutely throw my ring in that hat.
Okay, Dave. How about some
FaZe,
news?
definitely jump in on that. In fact, I'm going to make a Discord channel about the rankings so we can keep up.
Yeah.
So, some games are coming out this week. There are a couple between now and the next stream. Last week was a big announcement. We had Super Mario 35. Vladdy in chat, please let me know because you are the only person I know that has played that game any bit. I have not had any time to. Crash Bandicoot 4 and Star Wars Squadrons. The games that are coming out this week aren't necessarily of Boater and I's personal interest, but the two that I picked out more often than not, and I'll do the lesser of the two first, is on the 13th, which is going to be next Tuesday, G.I. Joe Operation Blackout is going to be coming to Switch, PS4, and Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows via Steam. So the big thing for this one is G.I. Joe's intellectual property dates back decades.
Yeah.
At Saratoga Comic-Con, we as Insane Games got to meet the gentleman who started the comic books, which is what spawned the TV show and the toys.
Yeah, that's right.
So this game is based upon the now, who owns this? IDW comic book publishing version of G.I. Joe, which is then based on the Hasbro toy lines. So it'll be very interesting. It'll be the first G.I. Joe game since 2009's G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra, which was a movie tie-in.
Yeah. Oh, wow, yeah.
So it's
that's right. There was a G.I. Joe movie.
Yep. There was two. This is a game I will look into because I have a soft spot for G.I. Joe. I grew up with them. I grew up watching Sergeant Slaughter in the WWF, so he was a big part of that IP.
Dave, I've forgotten so much that happened in the before time.
So
my wife and I split who we do the holidays with. One year we do my family for Thanksgiving, hers with Christmas, and then we switch. And it was like, who is it this year? I don't even remember whose it was last year. It was before.
I mean,
there was two G.I. Joe movies. Really?
Yeah. Nobody tell Claire, but we're dealing with the fact that we used to just do Suicide Christmas, which was one in Saratoga, one downstate, and we would drive, and it would be awful.
Yeah.
The second we would cross the line into Westchester, and I'm almost positive it is the same fucking white Pontiac 4-door, would swerve, and I would know, I'm back with the assholes at home.
Yeah, yeah.
Claire would watch me change from an upstate New York gentleman to the downstate. Hey, I'm driving here! I'm leaning out the window, shouting on the highway, giving the bird, laying on the horn. Claire's like, what is going on? I'm like, what?
This is a part of me you don't see. This is me. You have married this.
This is who I was when I drove in New York City. Dan also got to meet that person. When nice enough, Dan did the fucking coolest thing where he was like, by the way, Monday Night Raw is taping downstate. Let's go. And I was like, I will gladly drive. And he was like, all right, great. We'll cover this and the other. So Dan got to sit in the car as I whipped around in New York City. Dan has perma-banned me from driving company vehicles. Not because I'm unsafe under any circumstance. Ask Mike. Maybe ask Mike about my driving, but I get results, and we get there quickly, and we take the most direct route possible. Maybe through public parks, but it doesn't matter because the road should be blocked off.
Crazy taxi!
I mean, maybe.
Demon Dragon says like a werewolf. Meanwhile, Demon Dragon, how much I haven't actually driven in the car with you that often when we're visiting your family, but I imagine there's a little bit of that, like, yes, stop signs are yield signs, and yield signs don't exist.
Yield signs are merely a kind suggestion to look left and look right, and stop signs are, once again, a mere suggestion to make sure your insurance is updated. So
a yield sign. Downstate for good luck, everybody else.
Well, actually, they don't even have yield signs downstate because everyone will spend more time going, what the fuck is that, Blam? They put stop sign. They're like, you know what? No, it's a stop sign. Like, we're not doing this. So Vladdy says, I love and hate Super Mario 35 at the same time. And I'm going to guess. From when we talked about it Friday. A game where you play famous Mario levels and the first level is World 1, Zone 1, I'm guessing you're getting utterly sick of that same action every time you play. Huh? Was I right? All right. Demon Dragon, I mean, you know what, coming back from a trip with my parents, I revert to my Long Island accent. Oh, God.
She never had it as bad as, since I've known her, some of her sisters have it worse. The crazy thing is her mom has a very strong Long Island accent, so whenever she, not as much anymore, but when she was talking to the dogs and being maternal, she would revert to a Long Island accent.
Oh!
It was great.
That's why Ronan Katusha know they're loved. Because when you get told in a very threatening tone of voice, hey, you're a good boy. I must be. Akai, I think Mario 35 is fun. And Vladdy giving me the bell because I got it right.
In Chicago, when you're by the lake, people will get out of the car and start yelling at the people behind them.
I'm driving in, you're driving my bumper. I love this. I love this. Every week. Make sure to hit follow, by the way, here on Insane Games TV. Not just
down this way.
For the Nerd Glasses podcast.
It's under this nice logo over here.
It really is.
Boy.
Not just for the Nerd Glasses podcast, not just for the Citadel, not just for the Weekend Wednesday and Sunday, but for all of the insurmountably fun streams that happen 7 days a week. Let me repeat that for you so that you don't get confused. 7 days a week. And Monday to Friday, by the way, we pull a 2 to midnight every single day. Fridays we're working on it, but we're getting there. Loving that Alan Wake, by the way. Hell yes! So, very fun. I think I overplayed it, though. So many things have been going on in gaming, and I am so excited. But the other game that's coming out, and I really want to give it its fair due, because this game is, in fact, one of the major console make or breaks.
Okay.
It's coming out this Friday, and it's getting a Friday release. It is FIFA 21.
Okay.
So, an EA Sports title, however, of all of the sports games, if FIFA is bad, EA will get burnt to the ground.
Yeah.
Football fans do not put up with shite gaming. They just don't.
Yeah. It's one of those things that does do quite well in the US, but is more like an international huge thing. Absolutely. And I don't have much to say. It's interesting. I haven't kept up on what EA is doing with the EA-ness in EA Sports titles.
So they're doing Ultimate Team, which is, hey, Boder and I both have a favorite New York-based soccer team, and we really want to update the roster, make some players, but we want to do some players from that famous Venezuelan team, do some famous one from the Spanish team, and get these players together and have an Ultimate Team.
Yes, this sounds like us entirely.
Instead of just being able to make our own custom rosters and just make it a team of goalies and just go nuts, you have to do what's called Ultimate Team, where you open packs of digital cards. And this is on all of the
mask,
games.
You couldn't see the smile fade away over the course of 1,500 milliseconds, but it happens.
So you get packs of cards. And by the way, you can get a very good soccer player, but if you get the bronze version, they're not as good as the platinum version.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Exactly.
So it's like... It's like if there was like an NBA whatever, and you had a chance of getting Michael Jordan from like his big years,
yes,
versus his years. Oh, sorry, you unlocked. I don't even know what years he was playing. You unlocked 1989, Michael Jordan. I don't even know.
Exactly. Well, you unlocked college ball, Michael Jordan. So Demon Dragon, oh boy, digital cards. Exactly.
Can you play Hearthstone with the players?
Maybe, that might be an integration feature.
Can we get a just shitty side game that's just like a deck building game?
So, FIFA 21, the one thing I will say is that, by the way, if you're not a fan of sports games, the ultimate litmus test, watch someone stream playing FIFA. You know what, I'll dial back the absurdism. 80% of you folks watching out there will get sucked into the game because it's fun. Mm-hmm. It's genuinely fun.
Yeah.
There's always something going on. Hockey and soccer, there is always motion, there's always games. Soccer especially I have a great respect for because there is chance. The audience is a critical part of those games. You have never seen refs shit pants like you have when an arena of 10,000 people are all guaranteeing in a very nice 4-part, well-chorused out song that they are going to find that guy after the game and hang him. By the way, it's awesome. Soccer is really, soccer in America, football in the rest of the world is very easy to get sucked into. It's very fun, but if it's not your cup of tea, it's not going to change your opinion.
Yeah.
But if FIFA 21 is bad, I can guarantee you, because it's coming out for the One, Windows, the 4, the Switch, Google Stadia, PlayStation 5, and the Series X and S. So, if it's bad, things are going to get flipped over, things are going to get lit on fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, we've been covering a lot of our friends at Epic Games facing off against Apple.
Yep, we sure have. Boy, that's been a trip.
And we promised you we would update you.
We had a story last
happen.
week that we didn't get the chance to get to. We want to make sure we get it this week. Dave is going to try to tell you about the story.
I'm gonna drop it in chat.
Hold on, I'm gonna do. I watched the first the pilot episode of Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda, and whenever anyone's at a control panel, they're very dramatic about it. So Dave, tell me about this with this pose at the control panel.
Okay, so Boner, as you remember, Epic Games went into the courtroom and cried wolf on Apple.
Yeah.
And the court immediately told them, well, you got to get a better case because we're not hearing this, and dismissed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Apple then countersued Epic.
Yep.
And
said, oh, they want their day in court? Allow me.
please, don't run away. But wait, like a Ronco product, but wait, there's more. Epic caught one straight between the cheeks with a wingtip shoe. And they decided, I'm sorry, this is really funny, to go like any respectable person would do and run to their friends and cry and complain and make up things. And they created sorry.
Dave, what did they create?
The Coalition for App Fairness.
The Coalition for App Fairness.
Now,
who are some of the parties in this Coalition for App Fairness?
Porter, I'm so glad you asked me that, because this coalition cannot be considered a gathering or a mob or even a murder of companies, because this is an international who's who of people that make you go, huh? Who is that?
A coalition indeed.
So, this is gathering up together some of the most A-list of online personalities.
Yeah, I'm going to go with parties I recognize and parties I don't. So we're going to start, free space, Epic Games. I recognize that.
Yes. So, Basecamp.
Okay.
Blix.
Don't know.
Blockchain.com.
I know I know that blockchain exists. It's a term I've heard, but as a company, no.
Deezer.
No.
EPC, the European Publishers Council.
No.
We have discussed them previous on the program. I'd kick them over here.
Okay.
Match Group.
Matches in like Match.com?
And JDate and all those other ones, yes.
Okay.
News Media Europe.
Okay. I mean, I'll go over here. That makes sense that that's a thing that exists. I don't go, huh.
Prepare.
That goes over on this hand.
Proton Mail.
I thought you were about to say Proton Man, like, aha, it's me!
Not Proto Man, Proton Man.
Yeah, Proton Man! And my arch nemesis Electron Man, you stay over there!
Damn you, Apple Games!
Chemistry jokes.
Sky Demon.
That's a good gamer tag.
Spotify.
Okay.
And Tile.
7 that I have not heard of. Wait, Tile, is that like the GPS thing that you attach to your like your backpack so you don't lose it, or to your keys or whatever? Mm-hmm. Okay, so by 7 to 6, I have heard of more of those companies than I have not heard of.
Which is surprising, considering that I looked at this and I realized this is a bunch of European companies.
Yeah.
that have joined up with. I mean, Epic's a global company now.
Yeah.
Spotify's a global company, and Tile are technically a global company, but their biggest bases are based out in California. So
Yeah, no, that's so like those are all companies that have an interest in the App Store. And it's interesting that they go this route rather than trying to find like video game publishers, because I know someone that works for a company that made a very big video game on the platform.
Yeah.
I don't want to be more specific than that.
Sure.
And they're like, oh no, I'm totally on Epic's side with this. And it's interesting that they didn't go with that. They were like, let's go for the broader appeal. Let's go to Spotify. Let's go to this news thing that probably has a news app on there. Let's go to Match.com, which probably has an Apple app, even though that's not probably not their main way of doing things. Well, maybe it is now. I don't know.
The ones that could afford to, if this bit them, they wouldn't have to worry about it because
Yes,
they're not,
that's true. Like, they have
like-
other sources of revenue, income, whatever. Like, it's not their big... To be fair, Epic is the same way. They complain about it being a monopoly that's harming them, but, like, Apple is, what I say the other week, less than 20% of their collective revenue.
Trying to pick a character voice to do this because I want to read their vision statement.
Oh,
It's good.
God. This Coalition for App Fairness
So once again,
vision statement.
yeah, this is what they have for us. No, that's too successful.
Oh, lay it on us. You've already said you can't tease.
Oh, I did that voice a couple streams ago, so I'll do.
Oh, you're looking for a voice. Okay.
Our vision! We believe that every app developer is entitled to fair treatment and that every consumer should be complete control over their own device. Our App Store principles will ensure that a level playing field for our platforms, like Apple, are consistent with standards of conduct across the app ecosystem. The 10 principles outlined include every developer should always have the right to communicate directly with its users through its app for legitimate business purposes, and that no app store should change unreasonable or excessive fee charges.
So, okay. So hold on. Aside from that last thing tacked on, they have that. Every app is treated fairly. Every app gets a 30% charge for in-app purchases. And then being, oh, no unreasonable fee charges. Yes, you can argue that 30% is unreasonable, but like everything else in that mission statement, they shouldn't stand in the way of, clear communication with the customer. Nothing stood in the way of communication. You were trying to get their money.
Well, Homer, I gotta tell you, carefully crafted anti-competitive policies. Apple uses its control of iOS operating systems to favor itself by controlling the products and features that are available to consumers.
Yes! Because they're the publisher!
That's why I'm laughing about this shit. They say nothing.
It's 100% their right to say no. That garbage is harmful to our image and we do not want it on our app store. Or this could potentially be used to defraud customers and we're going to make policies against it.
Oh, listen to this sentence. Oh, God. So this is why I can't stop but laugh about this, because that whole website's just one big...
The company requires equipment manufacturers to limit options, forces developers to sell through its app store, and even steals ideas from competitors.
I'm sorry, did Epic come up with the Battle Royale model? No, they didn't. Were Spotify's the first one ever to stream music digitally? No, they weren't. Was Tile the first geolocation tag object? Actually, because I looked that up. No, they weren't.
Really?
Garmin.
Ah!
Because Garmin used to sell clothes. And then they got into electronics. And now they've moved quickly back into clothes. Because satellites are expensive. The only other two things that are on the points: 30% app tax on creators and consumers, which we have talked
Hold on,
about.
did they say app tithe?
App tax.
Tax. Okay. I was like, that's an interesting choice of words, calling it a tithe.
they would not be able to get that word out.
For most purchases made in the App Store, Apple makes 30% of purchase price.
Yeah, because that's their UI. Like, oh my god. And then the only other thing they have
Like
is
more than Google, Apple totally has reason to do that because they developed the hardware that it's on pretty much 100%. Okay, maybe a Snapdragon processor here or there, but otherwise, it's Apple stuff from bottom to top that is being designed for. And it's up to them to do it in such a way. Ah!
And listen to this. Listen to this stupid one. After their first tenant had no point, their second tenant was, man, we want that 30% for our pockets. The third one,
No consumer freedom! If consumers want to use a modern mobile device, Apple levies a tax that no one could avoid. No competition, no options, no recourse. The Apple app...
You have Android! You can get fucking BlackBerry! You can probably find a Windows phone! You have plenty of... Ah!
I'm glad this is just as infuriating for you, because when I read it last week, I got a really big headache, like cluster right up here, and then now it's funny again. Oh god. So, the Coalition for App Fairness, we can join them. Can Insane Games TV, DAM314, and Boaterbug join?
Oh my god!
General information. Guys, should I join this? Send me something.
Signatories just for the fucking lulz.
Should I try joining it?
Apparently anyone can. I want it noted that the thing that I hooked to the ground is totally okay. It's a cardboard
Oh, yeah, no,
top stand.
Trust me.
There was concern in chat. It's fine.
Oh my god! Nope. We will not be joining because I just scrolled down. So, they ask for name for... You know what? Sorry, Boater. We're going to really sidetrack on this one.
Okay, that's okay.
Coalition for App. I can't help but laugh every time I see that name. So firstly, every time you go on this... Just capturing the wrong window. Am I... Hello?
1 second.
No, it's... Fine, I'll just add it. The good news is the microphone's still there.
Yay. Do you want computer view instead of window capture? Source computer view?
Yep, that's in that's folder.
Oh, okay.
So add.
My god.
And there you are. So,
Demon Dragon yells, Apple has a monopoly on Apple products. How dare they?
So I won't bother putting our camera in because you don't need to see us. You do need to see that their website uses cookies. You know what? I'm only going to allow them to use necessary cookies. I don't want to give them free stuff. So, join us. At first I thought, I'll
Join the coalition!
I'll gladly, except for the fact that I didn't read this little caveat down here. So they want name, first, last, your email, your phone, your company name, or app, your website, the country you're in, the logo you have, so they can add you to the website.
Yup.
Ooh. Actually, I'm gonna ask Dan if he can give me $70 for the annual membership fee.
Annual membership fee
to become a part.
Dave, that is not $70. That is $69. I feel like we have to.
So, if you want to donate to Insane Games TV so that we can join
the Coalition for App Fairness.
The Coalition for App Fairness
is a non-profit organization registered in the United States, which is interesting because it's all like European countries.
Membership fees are non-refundable and non-tax deductible. Oh boy, Dan, can I please have $70?
Dan, please.
To join this and see if we can't get Insane Games right here, and we'll join and believe in The coalition for... Oh my god, look at these stats.
Oh my god.
Why? Why are you showing their numbers? Because all that's going to do is go to your wallet. Like, the number's not going back to the people. Oh.
Well, that's the thing, is that they're all like, oh, it's unfair that we have to...
By the way, you know what's also really good UI? Not links to any of this stuff.
Oh my god.
Like, it's just literally the images of it. If you want to read there, I got through one. I got through exactly one of these articles, and I couldn't see or breathe anymore because they're that bad. But,
Apple deserves to have a cut in their own walled garden software environment. Now, you could argue that they should allow third-party app stores to be on the platform, but ultimately, whether they do or not, if you are in the Apple App Store, you need to play by their friggin' rules. Now, to be fair, if they want to argue in court that they should be able to open up a separate app store or be able to sell off through their own apps, then yes, and much in the way that Microsoft had to split Microsoft Internet Explorer from Windows 95, like, I understand that. But the way that they frame it is the most childish way and the way most harmful to their cause. I'm putting this back.
It's good times to be had by all. And if anybody wants DAM314 to separately join, if someone wants to sponsor that by gifting me $70 for 1 year to see if I can get my logo up there. Oh my god! If they have to put my logo up there.
Well, that was founding members, so you wouldn't be on the front page.
Still.
I wonder if you can see where other members are.
You know what? We'll look for that for next week.
And we'll list off some of the people who pitched in $70 because I want it to be taken over by like YouTubers and shit like that. To be like, shut up.
I would love for all of us to
big companies want to keep more of their big money. I want a bunch of small creators to be like, yeah, and then glare at Spotify, who pays them like pennies on the dollar. That's what I want. I want companies that like have publishing through Spotify to do that. That would be amazing. That's the thing, is that these companies want to keep their full money through that. Meanwhile, 30% is really small compared to, again, Spotify. It's not exactly pennies on the dollar, but, Twitch, when you make a subscription, when you do a $5 sub on Twitch, Twitch keeps half of it, and we get the other half. Small creators have no time for big companies to be like, we want the rest of the pie too. It's like, shut up.
I want that $2.50 from that Boulderbug fella.
Shut up.
Hey, what are they doing over there? Making a living? Stop that.
Speaking of Twitch and small creators, Dave.
Yes.
I saw there was a Twitter thing recently, and I'll see if I can find it. Unfortunately, I didn't have the presence of mind to bring it up ahead of time. But the long story short is that Twitter will no longer be announcing raids of 5 viewers or less. Twitch.
Okay.
Sorry, did I say Twitter?
Yes.
Twitch.
Well, I wanted to make sure because I was like, I know, like.
Yeah, well, let's raid Twitter.
I mean, Twitter does have raids though. Like.
Twitch no longer in their API is sending alerts for raids of 5 or less. And this was Double Agent Smith on Twitter that has shared some of their email with Twitch. If you could respond with a simple yes or no response, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you for contacting us. Please note that activity feed filters out host events from channels with low view counts by default. Please let us know if you have further questions. And then in a different one, they say, yes, you will need more viewers in order for notifications to be sent out. So if I'm streaming Squadrons up here and I have 4 viewers, and then I'm like, all right, cool. Or actually, if I'm doing brunch with Boater on Sundays, twitch.tv/Boaterbug, Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern. And then I'm like, hey, I'm going to kick it over to Sunday service. If I do that as a raid, you won't see it if I have 4 viewers. Which sucks because,
will it still get picked up by, like, Streamlabs, I wonder? To do a notification?
No,
Really?
because it's within their API, it's not going to send a notification through the API. And this is something that, maybe it's being rolled out user by user, whatever, but it's one of these things where, like, as much as we've been like, yeah, Twitch is doing this great thing and banning these bad people, it's like, ooh, slow your roll, don't dick over small creators, because that's what YouTube did. And it's something where, like, they want to ignore small creators and just focus on the big ones that are making them lots of money.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's focused on small creators that, like, the fact that I stream how infrequently, and I have, just you talking last night, but I'm still technically an affiliate.
Which, by the way, was really fun. You should tune in.
I'm still an affiliate, and as much as I have, like, a Streamlabs donation link up there, people can still sub, people can still cheer.
Well, yeah.
I could, like, all that stuff can happen to me as a small creator, and you've had that benefit as well. Like, you've made some money off of Twitch as a small creator, slowly growing your audience.
Yes.
And it can start with.
I'm actually one follow away from 250, by the way.
Ooh, awesome. So one of you could be the lucky 250th, the 250,000. And all it could take is just, like, as a small creator, if someone goes and raids with, like, 3 people, you're excited. You're like, hey, thanks for, raiding. Welcome to so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. How's it going, guys? Whatever. And that's a great way to build your community. Now, I understand if it's annoying to big creators. Let's say someone that's, has 1,000 people watching. They may not care if a host comes in with 2 viewers. If a raid comes in with 2 viewers. It may just get annoying if people are raiding all the time with, like, 2 or 3 viewers. Or no viewers, or whatever. But that's something that should be user setable to set a threshold and say, hey, do not send an alert, like through Streamlabs, for instance, do not send an alert to my stream if there's not at least 25 viewers or something.
Right now, it is in the settings. You can only turn raids on or off. Yep. There isn't any metrics for certain size. You can't tell certain channels they can't and certain channels they can. You either can or cannot, and you can ban people individually.
Yes,
but, like, there isn't like, oh, only on team do I want from raids or things like that. Yep. But
1 follower away from 250 and 20 followers away from 269.
Oh yeah.
And yes, more like Rick and Mortis. That was me last night streaming Squadrons on the back screen there. I plan on streaming Squadrons somewhat often in the evenings as I do my placement matches and continue with multiplayer. So keep an eye on that.
It's a good game,
so,
and visually it's a lot of fun.
So if you want to see those, follow at twitch.tv/boaterbug and make sure that you hit that bell to get notified when I go live.
And while we're doing pitches for things,
yep,
you hit that bell, you hit that follow button, you're welcome. This network has so many talented streamers on it, it is amazing that the weight of it hasn't exploded out into the upper echelons of Twitch yet.
Dave, I have one more thing on Twitch super fast,
Yeah.
and that is that they updated their ban on terrorist and extremist content in the last couple days. Unfortunately, there was some really awful stuff that got streamed on Twitch last year. People live streaming, I'll leave it at, I think someone live streamed a mass shooting.
Yes, they did, because that was on a Tuesday, and then on the weekend Wednesday, I went off on a good hour rant about it.
So they updated their terms of service. They've always had a zero-tolerance approach to hateful content. They have added, Twitch does not allow content that depicts, glorifies, encourages, or supports terrorism or violent extremist actors or acts. This includes threatening to or encouraging others to commit acts that would result in serious physical harm to groups of people or significant property destruction. You may not display or link terrorist or extremist propaganda, including graphic pictures or footage of terrorist or extremist violence, even for the purposes of denouncing such content. That last bit is actually kind of a good
clarification.
Good qualification. Too. Like, people that are like, "Hey, don't do this thing," but it's with a wink and a nod, and they're still showing it.
It's like that that sketch that was on the internet years and years ago during a different presidential administration, when the comedian made the joke like, you can't say this on air. You can't say this either. You definitely can't say this or do this.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, you can't say it. And then it's like this is 45 minutes of you can't say that, but you're saying it.
Yeah.
Speaking of you can't say things on air, the Wii U will rise again. It is part of my heritage. I'm a proud Wii U man.
Nice.
So, speaking of proud of things, Konami has, as we are about to close, has made another release into the gaming world. In that Silent Hill 4, The Room is now alive on GOG.com and purchasable for $10.
Nice.
So, all of this vaulted software that you previously either got physical copies of or had it and couldn't get it, here you go.
Yep.
It's because I bet Konami looked at the market shares for pachinko machines that they've been making lately with their IPs and went, ooh, people aren't going out and playing those, so what was it we made again? What did Kojima do here? Was he a janitor? Pretty sure he was a janitor. He dressed like a janitor.
Yeah. I tried to drop a link to my Twitch channel. There we go. But unfortunately, my keyboard auto-inserted a space after the period, which
Wow.
was
So,
fine.
very good on Konami to release these games. Definitely get your hands on them if you were a fan of Contra, the Metal Gear Solid franchises, Silent Hill. Because the other half is, this is kind of the way that Konami's going to realize, oh, people still want those.
Yeah, by all means, vote with your wallets. Show them that it's appreciated. Konami, please come back to gaming.
Especially because, well, Konami IPs come back to gaming. Konami itself you can stand out in the veranda.
Look how many people are interested in the things that you made. Imagine how much money you could get by selling those to game developers. There we go. That's the angle we want.
Boom. So, in closing, we had one big event happen. And, it's big in the fact that, speaking of lawyers and things, the Xbox One acquired ZeniMax Media, which has Bethesda listings.
Microsoft or Xbox is a sub-brand? I heard it's Xbox, but I think Microsoft.
It might be Xbox sub-brand, but they are now related to Microsoft
through
more
the
so than...
Microsoft umbrella, its umbrella's all the way down.
So, that changed the perception of the Series X, which is on the lower end of the Xbox One is right now in second place.
Yep.
Sony has the advantages. Sony has a lot more of the bigger games announced, a lot more of these things going on. But as of a week ago, Quantum Error, which is a very interesting, dark sort of psychological horror, first person, exploration game in the same vein of a Dead Space, actually. It looks a lot like it in first person. They were a PS5 exclusive. Now, if you buy a Series X, you will be able to buy Quantum Error because they have changed their terms.
Is that one that was under the ZeniMax umbrella?
No, actually, it was
Okay.
an unrelated company.
So it's interesting because when they bought ZeniMax, Microsoft was like, hey, these contracts for exclusivity, we're not going to mess with those. If we own a company that is publishing a PS5 exclusive, that's fine. We're not going to mess with that. So then this comes out, and it's very important to clarify that this was just another company that was going to make something for PS5, but probably got an Xbox cash infusion to be like, hey, want to put in a little bit extra dev time? Here's a little bit of cash. Pay some developers. And then you get the dividends from the other console.
So this is big because this company that made this game, not very big.
Games. Huh.
Not very big, not a high value company that'll have a lot
Kind of
to
an
do
indie
back
game
and
kind
forth.
of thing, yeah.
So interesting that they, because of recent market shares and change in perception, they have decided to take their ball and share it over there as well.
Yeah.
More power to them. And I am very glad that both companies didn't punish this small developer for trying.
Dave, I'm going to sports metaphor.
Oh.
Yeah, I was playing half-court basketball over here, but it turns out that there's a crowd on that side too, so I'm going to play full court. Did I do it right?
Well, stream's over.
Dave, put it back. Okay.
So, yeah. Holy crap. Bravo, Boda. Bravo. So, this is interesting because this is potentially a sign of things to come. Potentially nothing, although Quantum Error really will have my money when it comes out.
Yeah.
Partially because I have a lot of family and heritage tied to fire departments, and because I loved Dead Space. So, Boater,
Dave,
we are now at the we're now at stopping time.
we're at the 8 o'clock.
So, I gotta wonder, Boater, here on Insane Games TV, first of all, hit that follow button.
Yeah.
You do that right now.
Right
You hit
now.
that follow button, you hit that bell so you get notified every single time someone goes live on this network. Streamlabs is dropping some really nice links to some very, very swanky merch.
Yep.
And then
I'm not wearing it this week, but last week I wore my Citadel t-shirt.
some of my family purchased the shirts. They're very picky about that stuff, and they
Nice.
love them.
Nice.
So support us, the streamers. Support Insane Games TV. But I gotta say, while people are here, Tuesday around 5 here on Insane Games TV. Monday around 5. I'm so excited. I work on Tuesday, so I'm like all pumped about it. Dave's fam approved. So things are going to be happening to Insane Games TV and Insane Games as a company. Do you want to know more about that information? Tune in Monday at 5 o'clock to Behind the Counter, where Dan and Mike will be outlining what those changes are, and you will be able to ask them questions about what does this mean about my favorite programs? What does this mean about a store that some cheeky folks work at and I really enjoy it? But I can't use that word anymore. You can't use huge anymore for anything.
Nope.
You can't.
Nope.
It's soiled.
There is
Things
going
are
to be
changing. Worlds are-
important stuff. And while we will talk about it on Nerd Glasses, I'm sure the main discussion of it is going to be 5 o'clock Monday, Behind the Counter.
Get it from the horse's mouth directly on regards to this, because you will be able to ask
Dan
them
is the horse.
questions about it.
Yes, yeah.
This is where you get to ask very specifics, and you will get very specific answers. So make sure to tune in. Keep an ear to the ground about this, because it is going to be one of the fucking coolest things. All right? And I don't want to talk about it anymore, because otherwise I'm going to start spoiling really cool things, because I am so fucking excited. I don't know how I'm going to get through the weekend Wednesday tomorrow
Yeah.
without spoiling it. I'm going to
Yeah.
make sure I bring tape gaff for myself.
Yeah,
Um,
I need to have like a remote button, but it's going to be on stream delay. So Dave, you're going to say something, say, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that, and then you're going to get hit by an off-screen boxing glove.
Sold. So, hit that follow button. You're welcome, by the way, for Insane Games TV content. Make sure to
And
get your
thank
piece of it.
you, in reverse, thank you all for watching and making us what we are.
Demon Dragon, more like Rigor Mortis, Vladdy, Akai, Phase Slap, and anyone else that has commented or is viewing
And
hasn't
Stream
said
Element
anything,
Spot, thank you.
please absolutely join in. And by the way, congratulations, Insane Games TV, now over 10,000 channel views. Hell yes, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this shit. Let's get that work. Speaking of the work, whereas the Nerd Glasses is about to go offline, what's going on next, Boater?
Well, after this, as usual, please stick around for 120 seconds. Refresh your browser if you need to, because once we go offline, it takes us just a moment to rewrite something and start a 10-minute countdown for The Citadel, where I will be playing 2 Human, a game that we've been kind of rushing through, but partially because we've just really enjoyed this game as we're playing it, and also it's a somewhat shorter game. There's a possibility we're going to finish this tonight to make room for another game in our rotation.
Yeah.
Maybe not. We'll see. No guarantees we're finishing it, but we're going into... Well, we're going to do some cyberspace stuff and then going to Hell to see if we can find Loki and beat him up a little bit. So, stick around for 2 Human on the Citadel coming up 8:15, 8:20.
Much love to everyone for joining us and making the Nerd Glasses one of the funnest streams I get to do every week. And Boater, thank you for joining me
Absolutely,
as always
thank you.
and taking your time to be a part of Insane Games TV.
Thank you for letting me get upset enough to yeet one of your displays. Oh, the shelf is kind of... whatever. I
That
didn't
shelf
do
was-
it.
Anyway, before people start getting bent out of shape about it,
Like the display.
we'll chat offline. Ladies and gentlemen, Vladdy93, thanks for streaming. Thank you, Duder. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be going offline in just a minute. Join us here on Insane Games TV just in a minute for the Citadel and for all of the other fantastical programming here on Insane Games TV, your home for gaming, fun, and the salt.
Thanks, everybody, and have a great night.
Bye!
Do you want to do a podcast? We make a darn good team. It always goes without a hitch. Let's head to Twitch and go start up the stream. Do you want to do a podcast? It's the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Let's start now. Hi everyone and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast.
Come? Alright, I'll do my own bit for myself.
Oh wait, no silence.
We're doing it. Get off the road.